Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to reflect on a profound truth that each and every one of us should carry in our hearts every single day of our lives. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. Life is not a random sequence of events, nor is it a journey marked by endless obstacles without purpose. No, my friends, you are here today, standing in this moment, because you have been brought to this place by a divine plan that has been in motion long before you were even born. You have been brought through the struggles, the storms, and the challenges, not to be abandoned, but to fulfill a greater purpose. This truth will serve as our foundation, and we will build on it together. God's involvement in your life is not accidental. He has a purpose for you, and this purpose is not contingent on your present situation. The challenges you face, the setbacks you endure, and the detours you encounter are not signs that you are forgotten, but rather signals that you are in the process of being prepared for something greater. The journey ahead is not without difficulty, but it is one filled with promise. The road may be tough, but I tell you, the destination is glorious. As we go deep into this message, I urge you to remember that the promises of God are unshakable, even when your faith wavers. The challenges you encounter are not a reflection of God's absence, but an invitation to lean deeper into His faithfulness. You are not alone in this journey. You are not abandoned. God has not brought you this far to leave you, and He will not fail you now. So as we explore the significance of this truth, let us embrace the assurance that no matter where we stand today, we are not at the end of our story. There is more to come. There is more in store. Let this understanding stir your heart, fuel your faith, and ignite your vision for the future, because indeed, God has a purpose, and that purpose is being unfolded right now in your life. Embrace the journey with confidence. It is essential to understand that life is not a destination, it is a journey. We often get caught up in the challenges that appear before us, seeing them as barriers to our ultimate success. But I want to remind you today that those obstacles are part of the journey, not the end of it. They are stepping stones that will shape you, mold you, and prepare you for something far greater than you could ever imagine. When you face hardship, it is easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. You may feel as if the struggle is endless and the pain is too great to bear. But let me assure you, God did not bring you this far just to leave you. Every step you take, every struggle you face, every victory you experience is part of His divine plan. When you embrace the journey with confidence, you begin to see the beauty in each moment, whether it's a moment of success or a moment of failure. Both have value, for both teach you something about yourself and the God who is guiding your steps. Remember that confidence comes not from the absence of fear, but from the presence of faith. Confidence comes when you trust that God's purpose for your life is bigger than your current circumstances. When you look back over your life, you will see that the challenges you faced were not the end, but the very thing that equipped you for what lies ahead. So, embrace your journey. Embrace every moment, every lesson, and every trial, because God's hand is on your life, and He will not leave you alone on this path. The journey may be long, but with each step, you are getting closer to the fulfillment of God's purpose for you. You were never meant to walk alone, and you are certainly not abandoned. You are moving towards something magnificent, even if it doesn't seem clear right now. The power of God's faithfulness. One of the greatest assurances we have as believers is the faithfulness of God. His faithfulness is not contingent on your performance, your situation, or your ability to see the future. It is unshakable. It is a constant presence in your life, whether you recognize it or not. When God says He will never leave you nor forsake you, He means it. His word is true, and it is backed by His power to bring it to pass. There may be times when you feel as if God is distant, but I encourage you to look back over your life and remember the countless moments when His faithfulness carried you through. Remember the times when you thought there was no way forward, but somehow, some way, you made it. That wasn't luck, my friends. That was the faithfulness of God working in your life. God didn't bring you this far just to leave you. He has a plan for your life, and that plan includes seeing you through every trial, every storm, and every season of uncertainty. The power of God's faithfulness is seen in His ability to work all things together for your good, even when you can't see how it will all come together. He is the master of turning setbacks into comebacks, of turning suffering into strength. Trust in His faithfulness. When you do, you will find peace even in the midst of trials. You will find assurance that no matter what comes your way, God is already ahead of you, working things out for your benefit. And that, my friends, is the power of God's faithfulness. Trusting God through the storms. Every journey has its storms. Every life will face moments of turbulence, challenges that feel overwhelming, and experiences that seem unfair. But it is in the storms where we often grow the most. It is in those moments that God refines us, strengthens us, and prepares us for what lies ahead. Trusting God through the storms doesn't mean that the storm will be easy. It means that you trust God's ability to navigate you through it, and you rely on His promise to never leave you. The storm may look fierce and the winds may howl, but when you trust God, you find peace in the midst of it. You realize that your circumstances do not dictate your worth or your purpose. Your value is found in the one who created you, the one who is with you through every trial. Trusting God means knowing that no matter what happens in the storm, He will not let you drown. He will not allow you to be defeated. You are not in this alone. So in the midst of the storm, keep your eyes on the one who controls the wind and the waves. Know that the storm will pass, but the faith you develop during it will stay with you, strengthening you for the journey ahead. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. He is with you through the storm, and He will carry you to calmer waters. The importance of perseverance. Perseverance is one of the most powerful attributes that a believer can possess. It is the ability to continue moving forward even when it seems like progress is impossible. God calls us to persevere, not because the path will be easy, but because perseverance is what builds character and strengthens faith. When you persevere through challenges, you demonstrate your trust in God's plan for your life. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear. But I want to remind you today that God didn't bring you this far to leave you. Perseverance is the key to overcoming every obstacle and reaching the fulfillment of God's purpose in your life. You were created for more than just survival. You were created for greatness. Perseverance will help you tap into the strength and resilience that God has placed within you. It's important to remember that perseverance doesn't mean you won't face setbacks. It doesn't mean you won't experience difficulty. But it does mean that you refuse to let those challenges define you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are more than a conqueror. And as you persevere, you will see that the obstacles you once thought would defeat you will become the very things that propel you toward your purpose. Your purpose is greater than your present. One of the most crucial truths to understand in life is that your present circumstances do not define your future. Too often we look at our current situation and conclude that this is all life has to offer. But I challenge you today to look beyond your present and see the potential that lies within you. God didn't bring you this far just to leave you in your current state. Your purpose is greater than your present situation, and God has positioned you for greatness. It doesn't matter what challenges you face today, what struggles you are experiencing, or what setbacks you have encountered. These are not the final chapters of your story. The book of your life is still being written, and the best is yet to come. Your purpose is unfolding, even if you can't see it clearly yet. Trust that God is at work in your life, preparing you for a future that is filled with hope, promise, and possibility. Your present circumstances may be difficult, but they do not have the power to limit your future. God has a plan for you, a plan that is not limited by your current situation. Trust that He is working all things together for your good, and that your purpose will be fulfilled in His perfect timing. You are not alone in this journey. As you continue on this journey, remember that you are never alone. The enemy wants you to believe that you are isolated, that no one understands your pain or your struggles. But the truth is, God is always with you. He has promised to never leave you nor forsake you. His presence is with you every step of the way. There will be times when you feel abandoned, when you feel as if no one is there to support you. But I want to assure you today that God is with you, even when you can't feel His presence. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything for your good. You are not walking this path alone. God is your constant companion, your guide, and your strength. And while God's presence is always with you, He also places people in your life to walk alongside you. You are part of a community of believers who are there to encourage you, pray for you, and support you. Don't isolate yourself in your struggles. Reach out to those around you. You are part of the body of Christ, and together you will make it through. I want to leave you with this unshakable truth. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. He is with you in every step, every challenge, and every victory. The journey is not always easy, but it is filled with purpose. No matter where you are today, remember that your future is brighter than you can imagine, and your purpose is greater than your present circumstances. Trust in God's faithfulness. Persevere through the storms and embrace the journey with confidence. You are not alone. God is with you, and He will see you through. The role of faith in your journey. Faith is the foundational force that sustains us through every season of life. It is through faith that we are able to endure, to rise above the circumstances, and to believe that there is a greater plan unfolding. God didn't bring you this far to leave you, and the faith you hold in Him is the key to seeing His promises fulfilled. When your faith is grounded in the belief that God is sovereign, you will find that no challenge is too great to overcome. Faith is not merely a mental acknowledgement of God's existence, but a profound trust in His goodness and in His promises. It is the deep assurance that God's plan is greater than what we can see with our eyes. Even when the road ahead is uncertain, faith allows us to move forward in confidence, knowing that God is leading us towards something greater. Sometimes faith is about trusting in the unseen, knowing that God's hand is guiding you through the storm, even when the storm clouds obscure the way forward. When we encounter trials, our natural inclination may be to question God, to wonder where He is in the midst of our pain. But faith requires us to rise above those doubts and hold firm to the truth that God is present with us. Faith enables us to keep walking when we don't understand the path, knowing that His purpose will be fulfilled in His time. When you hold on to faith, you will find that the obstacles you face are not there to break you, but to strengthen you. God is faithful and He responds to faith. When you step out in faith, you invite the power of God to work in and through your life. Faith empowers you to overcome fear, to break through barriers, and to see beyond your current limitations. So embrace the power of faith and allow it to fuel your journey. For God didn't bring you this far to leave you. He will carry you through to the other side of your challenges. Learning from your failures. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process of success. We often view failure as a setback, as something to be avoided or feared. However, failure is an essential teacher, one that shapes our character and strengthens our resolve. In your journey, there will be times when you stumble, when things do not go as planned, when your dreams seem to be slipping away. But I want to encourage you today to shift your perspective. Failure is not the end of the road. Rather, it is a part of the path that leads you to success. It is easy to become discouraged when you experience failure, to believe that God has abandoned you or that you are not worthy of His blessings. But God doesn't use failure to punish you. He uses it to refine you. Just as a piece of metal is heated and hammered to remove impurities, your failures serve to remove the imperfections in your life. Failure teaches you humility, resilience, and perseverance. It reveals to you the areas in your life that need strengthening and growth. When you face failure, remember that you are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by God's love and His calling on your life. Failure does not determine your future unless you allow it to. Instead of seeing failure as a defeat, see it as a lesson, a stepping stone on your journey. The most successful individuals in life are often those who have failed the most because they have learned from their failures and used them to propel themselves forward. God is always with you, even in your moments of failure. He did not bring you this far to leave you. Every failure, every setback is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to move closer to fulfilling your purpose. Do not allow failure to paralyze you. Instead, allow it to fuel your desire to continue moving forward. Because with God, even failure can be transformed into a stepping stone to success. The influence of positive relationships. In every journey, relationships play a critical role. The people you surround yourself with can either propel you toward your destiny or hinder your progress. Positive relationships are essential to fulfilling God's purpose in your life. God didn't bring you this far to leave you isolated. He has strategically placed people around you to encourage you, to challenge you, and to help you grow. These relationships, when cultivated with care and intention, can be a source of strength in your walk with God. As you pursue your purpose, It is crucial to recognize the influence of the relationships in your life. Some relationships will lift you up, reminding you of God's promises and encouraging you to press on, even when the going gets tough. Others, unfortunately, may seek to drag you down, to sow seeds of doubt and fear in your heart. It is important to be discerning in these relationships, choosing to invest in those that will encourage and support you in your journey toward God's best for your life. The Bible speaks of the importance of fellowship and community, and for good reason. We were never meant to walk this path alone. In moments of struggle, it is often the support and wisdom of others that helps us gain perspective and find renewed strength. The people you allow into your life will either help you fulfill your purpose or distract you from it. Therefore, be intentional about the relationships you build and nurture. Seek out those who will challenge you to grow and become the person God created you to be. Never underestimate the power of encouragement. Sometimes the right word at the right time can lift you up from the depths of despair and ignite a fire within you to keep going. The relationships God places in your life are there for a reason. Honor them, nurture them, and allow them to help you fulfill your purpose. And remember, even in times when you may feel alone, God has placed people around you who are ready to walk with you, the unseen hand of God in your life. As you journey through life, there will be times when it seems as if God is silent, when you are unable to see or understand His hand at work. You may wonder why certain things happen, why doors close, or why opportunities slip through your fingers. But I want to remind you today that just because you cannot see God's hand doesn't mean He's not working in your life. The unseen hand of God is always at work, shaping your path, guiding your steps, and positioning you for greatness. There are moments in life when we feel abandoned, when we question whether God is really present in our circumstances. But faith requires us to trust even when we cannot see. The reality is that God is always at work in the unseen. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events and circumstances that will lead you to your purpose. His timing is perfect, even when it doesn't match our expectations. In the moments when you feel as though everything is falling apart, take heart, because God's unseen hand is still guiding you. He is working everything together for your good, even when you cannot see the immediate benefit. Trust that He is positioning you for a greater purpose. Just because things don't look the way you want them to doesn't mean that God is absent. It simply means that His plan is unfolding in a way that you may not yet understand. Remember, God didn't bring you this far to leave you. Even in the moments when you feel uncertain or lost, His unseen hand is at work. Trust in His sovereignty. Trust in His plan. Because in the end, you will see that everything, even the things that seemed like setbacks, were part of His divine plan to bring you into the fullness of your purpose. As we conclude today's message, let us hold firm to the undeniable truth that God has not brought us this far to leave us. His faithfulness is unwavering, His plan is perfect, and His presence is constant. The journey may be challenging, but it is a journey filled with purpose. Trust in His plan, persevere through the storms, and walk in the confidence that God is with you every step of the way. You are not alone. God will never leave you, and He will always carry you through. Keep your eyes on the prize, for the best is yet to come.